Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to We Call Bank. This is episode somewhere in the 15 to 20 range, I'm going to assume. Actually, no.
We got to be over
We're past 20.
Yeah.
We're in this is like 23, 24. But we got a new camera, so if you're watching this in video form, let me know what it looks like, how it looks. But we're going to be talking about 3 games. Okay, we're going to be talking about 2 of the play-in games. We're going to be talking about the Hawks and the Bulls, and we're going to be talking about Pelicans, Lakers. And then finally, we're going to be talking about one playoff matchup, which is going to be Clippers and
Mavs.
Mavs?
Clippers
and Mavs. That's what we're going to be talking about. And so, yeah, I don't know if Dallas watched any of the games, the playing games, but we'll talk about the first one. Pelicans, Lakers. Did you watch it at all?
I watched like the third quarter.
You watched the third
only
quarter.
A little bit of it.
So I just wanted to give my opinion on it. Let me see what the score is 100% so I can be accurate with my score. Because once Zion went out, it was kind of like, okay, they lost, which they only lost by 4. Lakers 110 to Pelicans 106. And when I turned it on in the second quarter, and I think the Lakers were up, and then Zion started cooking. All right, he ended up with 40 points. He went out with a knee injury, or I think it ended up being a hamstring injury. In the fourth quarter. And once he went out, it was like, okay, their offense is gone. McCollum couldn't really get much going. Alvarado was kind of like the microwave, if you will, for them. Getting a lot of assists, turnovers, disturbing, pissing people off on the other team.
He was kind of... I'm sorry. I was trying to see which episode this was. This is 22.
Anyway, this is episode 22.
All right.
As he casually interrupted me, but Alvarado was kind of like their break starter. He was the glue with Zion in there. Zion was just bullying everybody. There was a play where LeBron took a charge on him, and Zion didn't even hit the ground, but LeBron hit the ground pretty hard. And there was a possession in there where he just moved AD out of the paint. Like, if Zion can stay healthy, like if Zion was healthy, they won that game. I would have bet money on it. He was looking good. Yeah, once he went out, they couldn't do anything. That was really the whole gist of the Lakers-Pelicans game. It was close till Zion went out. Well, let me rephrase that. When Zion went out of the game, the Lakers got a lead back. When Zion came in the game, he brought it back. And then, like I said, he ended up getting hurt. That was it. Hamstring injury. He might be back for the next game. And if he is back for the next game, I got them winning. What's your thoughts on that? Any thoughts on the game?
Not necessarily the game. I was just thinking, I saw this post, right? And it was talking about how...
Why are you holding the mic up here?
Bro, because this new camera, the little screen is like distracting me. It's like, I like the screen. And I just... There we go. Is this better?
You were fine where you were at?
Like this?
Talk into the mic like you, like somebody's interviewing you. You're talking to them. Like, why are you...
Sir, I would like this job because I am qualified. All right, so anyways, like I was saying, basically I saw this post talking about how like Zion ruined another Pelicans season or something like that, this and that, blah, blah, blah.
You be on it, social media too much. You be seeing all these comments that nobody cares about.
Hey, because I like entertaining the idea of arguments through social media. And you know that. Hey, speaking of, what's that kid's name?
Sharing never mind. Continue.
What's that kid's name that was coming on your video?
Which one?
The one that was saying that crazy stuff about Paul George.
I don't know. All
right,
literally,
people like him.
As soon as I replied to him, which it was a normal discussion, it wasn't really like nobody was going at nobody.
He kind of called you out. He said, he kind of like was like, watch SGA highlights, and then
he didn't call me out. He just said,
and then change the title.
They're a very similar person. He didn't say change the title.
He did say change the title.
No, he didn't. Oh,
guaranteed. I'll put money on it, Joey. I'm telling you.
It doesn't matter at all.
It's just
it doesn't matter at all. It's a player that it's a player. It's a dude that we'll never meet in our lives. Has no effect on our life at all. Has no effect on Paul George's life at all.
Yeah.
There's millions of people out there that hate Paul George. Millions of people out there that hate LeBron, that hate Curry, that hate. There's going to be haters for every player. It literally doesn't matter at all.
I'm so glad that you uploaded that video though, because you said throughout this whole time, I think there's plenty of times on the podcast that you have said you don't see
never
this
said-
disrespect towards Paul George. You don't see this
I
hate
don't
towards
really
Paul.
take that as
And
disrespect.
Okay, look, bro. The way he was wording it, you could tell his
All he
feelings
was saying
towards Paul
is
George.
What I got from what he said was he likes Shea more than he likes Paul George, and he thinks Shea is a smoother player than Paul George. That's fine. That's his opinion.
What I took from it was he was saying Paul George is trash.
No.
That's what the kid was saying.
He
Paul
literally,
George is
didn't
trash.
he literally compliment him above that?
I mean, he did say
Okay,
that he
I don't
likes
know.
Paul George, but later on in the comments, and then whenever he was responding to Joey, he was saying stuff like how OKC won the trade and
How many times are we going to talk about Paul George on the podcast? We talk about him every week because
You brought up the social media thing. I was just talking about what I saw about a post about the Pelicans, but then you had talked
we
about.
talk about Paul George for 20 minutes of each podcast for no reason. He has an opinion. He likes Shea more than Paul George. He said he likes Paul
can do
George
that.
too.
He can
That's
do that.
it. End of the story. There's no.
But
he
that
said
ain't
nothing
just all he
wrong.
said. He didn't
Oh
say,
my gosh.
"Hey, I like Paul George, but I like Shea more." If he would have
That's
said that, that's good.
basically what he said.
But he put more detail into why he don't like Paul George,
Okay,
and
well,
that's
that's
the
fine.
disrespect. No,
that's
not
disrespect.
Fine. That's not
That
fine.
He didn't disrespect him in
Because
any way.
I would never go. Look, here's something that's weird to me. All right, I would never go and look up. Let's see, Julio Jones highlights.
He didn't look it up. It probably recommended to him. He watched it because he likes Paul George, and he saw, everybody thinks he's the smoothest. He's been seeing this around TikTok, wherever he's been looking, and he's like, I think Shea is smoother than him, and he made a comment about it. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just like you reposting Clippers. They beat the bottom seed by 40.
That's
Paul George
positivity.
dropped 40
That's
on him.
positivity about the
But
Clippers.
when somebody has one opinion that doesn't line up with yours, and they're the evil of the world.
Whoa. Everybody can have their opinions. Like,
He
for
has his
instance,
opinion, and you're
Austin,
taking it-
he likes OKC. He likes Chet. He likes everybody on OKC. I'm fine with that. But then whenever you start calling Chet a rookie, that's where things get wedged in, okay? See, there's certain
You have an
opinions.
opinion. He has an opinion. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's opinions and there's facts. And that's not a fact. See what I'm saying? There's just certain facts.
His isn't okay. It's like I said. It's an opinion. Yours is an opinion. His is an opinion.
Yeah.
Yours isn't a fact. His isn't a fact.
He can like OKC. I can like Paul George. But we can't sit here and say that people on OKC are better than Paul George and their careers are better than Paul George and will be better than Paul George because you got to look at the
Who
facts.
said that?
I'm just saying.
Nobody said that. You're making these things up in your head.
I'm just saying.
Already.
If Austin was sitting here right now, he would say SGA is better than Paul George and he will be better than Paul George. Is that not right, Austin?
This season,
Would you say that?
This season,
that
undeniably,
SGA is better than Paul George and he will be better than Paul George. Would you say that?
Yes.
I mean,
There's a reason he's in the MVP conversation.
you're kind of the number one guy on your team. You know what I mean? You kind of,
I'm sorry. Don't get hurt every 3 games. Like what?
No, look.
That was a joke, by the
it's
way.
not a
Shout out
super
Paul
team.
George,
All
shout out
right,
Kawhi.
they just built. Okay, are we really putting Westbrook in a super team? He's great and all, but this ain't prime Westbrook. This is a little
But y'all
post
do
prime.
have James
but
Harden,
he's still
Paul
pretty
George,
good.
Kawhi Leonard.
James Harden hasn't. I'm gonna be honest
This
with
dude
y'all.
literally posted something about James Harden the other day. So I don't
But
want to hear him
he
disrespecting
hasn't
him
really
at all.
done shit, or he hasn't really done stuff for the past like 3 weeks. Honestly, James Harden really hasn't
So
done
Paul
anything.
George has a low stretch, and it's fine. He'll get back to it. But as soon as James doesn't have 3 good games in a row, he just ain't doing nothing for us.
I'm just saying.
We have 3 superstars. They're
I'm
not.
just
They're
saying.
not all gonna go off. 3 superstars are not all gonna go off at the same time.
Nah. I'm just saying. Everybody can have their own opinions, and everybody can like who they like. Everybody can think like he can think SGA is better, but putting that statement out saying like he and I'm okay with you saying
Nobody said he
SGA
was better though. They just said he had a better season.
and I can take that opinion because that
You
sounds
obviously
kind of
can't.
correct.
You obviously can't.
But if we sit here and we was to say he will have a better career than Paul George,
Who said that?
I'm just saying if we was to say that.
Nobody said that.
Nobody
You're
said
running
it,
with this
but
narrative.
It's like I can tell what people are thinking, and I know that's what Austin thinks. I know.
What I gather from this is that you just have these negative thoughts running through your brain that everyone's out to get you 24/7, and you want to be in Paul George's shoes so bad for him. You're like trying to be his shield, but he doesn't need you, Dallas. He doesn't.
I don't need Paul George to need me. Here's
You
my
have a cutout of him in your room.
I do have a cutout, not in my room. I do have a cutout of Paul George, but that cutout is pretty neat. I'm not gonna lie to you, and it went for a lot of money at one point because it's the 2K17 cutout. But anyways, I'm not trying to be his shield. It's just I hate when I see you. And here's the problem. You think I hate Devin Booker?
This was not on the topic of this.
You think I hate Devin Booker, right? Right?
I don't think I know. You
I
said
don't
it before.
hate
You
Devin
said it
Booker.
before.
I dislike Devin
so
Booker.
now it's just like I want to get this on.
But I've always said, and check this on the podcast. Fact check this.
So dislike.
I dislike him.
Okay, we dislike
but
him.
I respect him and his game to the point that if somebody, and I have took up for Devin Booker before in the comments, somebody had said something about Devin Booker and said that he was just god awful, he was trash, blah blah blah. And you know what I said? I said, you know what? Devin Booker is soft, but you got to respect his game. He's a nasty player. All right, see?
Okay, number
If
one.
we can
Let's
do that, I can do that.
just roll this back. Let's talk about this. One, you have said hate it before, and this was around the time when we were talking about using the word hate. So now it's dislike. So he does.
Yeah.
He dislikes Devin Booker for his actions.
Yes.
Okay. But first of all, if I see that's like any player. If I see somebody in the comments, Tom Brady, for example, I'm not the biggest Tom Brady fan in the world, but if I see somebody in the comments saying Tom Brady is trash, blah 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 blah, I'm not even going to respond to it because they're dumb enough to write a comment like that in the first place. Okay. So why even respond to it?
The reason I respond to it is because there's just so much negativity in this world.
And you're feeding into it.
No. I'm trying to correct the negativity. He's saying he's
can't-
trash. I'm trying to explain to him why he is not trash. And then they don't ever want to respond back. And it's just like...
Because they don't care as much as you.
But I'm trying to help them be a better person. You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be a brainiac and say, oh, yeah.
The way you say you respond to people is not going to help them be a better person.
What? I sent you my responses multiple times, and you...
That guy you were nice to, but that's the only one I see. I don't know about the other ones you respond
The
to.
one I sent you on TikTok where we were messaging back and forth, I was nice. The thing is he's the one that started the curse words. I was completely fine until he started cursing. Then I had to put a little level of the disrespect.
You gotta be able to handle it because
I can handle
there was
it.
a guy. All right, listen. I posted on Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
That video of they put the teams above your head and they stop and then you choose a player from that team, right?
Yeah.
So I was ranking point guards blindly, not knowing who was going to be next, right?
Okay.
Okay, and let me find it. Luka, Fox, Bill, Giddey, Kobe White. Okay. First of all, who watches the Bulls nowadays? Okay. I don't. I'm a Hawks fan. Why do you think I'm watching? You think I'm watching Bulls games? Okay. So that's my cover for why I didn't know who Kobe White was. First of all, when Kobe White got drafted, I thought he was going to be really good. There's no proof of me saying this on any podcast because we didn't do a podcast at this point. But I remember watching him, and I was like, because this is when I was actually paying attention to players who were getting drafted. Because I think Lonzo got drafted the season before that or something. So, he kind of got me into watching a little bit more. And Kobe White, I thought he was going to be good. He ended up kind of being like a bench rotational player for a little bit. And I would say that people didn't really think he was going to ever be a legitimate starter. But I haven't watched a single Bulls game besides the play-in game, okay? And he showed me he dropped 44 on us. But the guy in the comment said, it ain't too late to delete this. So I just want to get your opinion on this list, for one. But two, see, people just going to, bring some negativity in here, and you just got to deal with it. So I had, let me go back to the list here. Luka, Fox, Bill, Giddey, Kobe White. What are we thinking? Is this now, like I said, I ranked this blindly, but I just want to hear your opinion. Now, the only one I would change is Giddey and Kobe White, but also they were flaming me in the comments saying Shea is a point guard. Me personally, I think he's a shooting guard, but I don't know if they label him as a point guard nowadays or they label him as a shooting guard. But when he got in the league, I'm pretty sure they labeled him as a shooting guard. So when I was doing this, I'm thinking he's a shooting guard.
I mean, basically, like you said, I would just switch the bottom two. But Luka, I mean, he's the best.
As soon as I saw Mavs, I was like, okay, what are the chances I'm pulling Curry or somebody else out of this list? Luka, Fox, Bill, y'all could have said Bill was a shooting guard too, and I wouldn't have been mad at that. But it was Luka, Fox, Bradley Bill, which now I don't even know if that's where I'd have Bill. But then it was Giddey, Kobe White. So like, if I had to rank, like remember this is blindly, like off a team topping up, and I had to blindly rank them. But Luka Fox, I wouldn't change that. I like De'Aaron a lot. Kobe White and Giddey, I would definitely change. I would put Giddey at 5, Kobe at 4.
I mean, it depends on if you're going into depth with it. Like at one point, they were putting Devin Booker at point guard, and I mean, if you
I
go
would never consider him point guard. But
I know, but if you was to go
I'm
by,
talking like if you look at the player, I'm not talking LeBron played point guard one time. He's a point guard. No, I'm talking like if you're looking at the player, what position you think he is.
Okay, then yeah, it's a valid list if you switch the bottom two. But other than that, I mean, you gotta have Luka over Fox. Oh,
anyway,
you gotta have Luka over Fox, and then who was the third one again?
Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal, and then Bill. You have to have him 3, even with him being out.
Actually, no. You know what? I don't know why I'm saying Bradley Beal in the play-in, because I'm getting him and McCollum mixed up right now. McCollum didn't play good in the play-in. Bradley Beal a bucket. So that's where I was getting mixed up. For some reason, him and McCollum, which I don't know why I'm getting them mixed up. Anyways, but we're gonna move on because we've been off the topic list because y'all want to talk about Paul George for 10 minutes.
Oh, you did.
I didn't.
You did. You brought up the social media thing.
That's it. That had nothing to do with Paul George, but everything's got to have Paul George sprinkled into it. All right. So we're talking about Pelicans, Lakers. Now we're going to talk about Hawks, Bulls. You probably didn't watch any of this game, and I don't blame any of y'all for not watching any of this game. Moral of the story is Bulls blew us out in the first quarter. We blew them out in the second quarter. I think it was like 70-something to 70-something. It was pretty close going into halftime. I think we were down a point. Trae was not playing good at this point. He had the wrap on his hand, on his left hand, which if you handle the ball a lot, like having anything on your hand is like just throws you off because you can't. The feeling of the ball is just different. Ends up taking it off at halftime. Plays a little bit better. I think he ended with 22 points. DeJounte was cooking in the first half, and I want to. From my perspective, a couple things stood out. Trae was 3 games back. I think he was a little gassed going into the third and fourth quarter, and on defense he was a little bit lazy. Second, DeJounte Murray didn't get as many shots in the third quarter, and then he started getting the ball in the fourth, and he just wasn't in that rhythm anymore. So I kind of blame Trae a little bit for that. But then again, they both got to try to find some kind of rhythm. So they're point guards. You can't blame them for taking shots. But I do feel like they didn't give him the ball enough. DeJounte the ball enough in the third quarter for him to keep that rhythm, and that kind of ended up being a problem. On top of that, we couldn't hit threes. But that's really all I got to say about that. And Dallas wants to talk about his matchup, and we're going to be talking about Paul George again.
And we're going to be talking about your matchup?
What matchup? I ain't got no matchup. Well, I ain't going to be talking about that yet. They ain't played no games yet. But we
ain't got to talk about my matchup.
If we have time, we might.
I just thought we were going to talk about yours.
If we have time, we might.
All right, then I'll make it quick.
Okay. No, we ain't got to make it. I'm trying to hit 30 minutes, so we got 10 more minutes here. Okay, so Dallas wants to talk about his Clippers and Mavericks. So I'll let you give your opinion on it, and then I'll give mine, and then we might talk about mine.
All right, simple enough. All right, I've been playing some Valorant, and there's been some people.
What does this? If you talk about somebody talking crap again,
there is. Okay, look. All right, my name in Valorant is Paul George, and okay, now before y'all start saying glaze, all right, to be fair, I named it Paul George only because Bradley and Joey both named their play.
First of all, that's my alt account. His name Trae Young.
You hear that? He's a Smurf. Anyways, so they named their accounts after NBA players. So I was like, bet I'll just do the same because actually someone told me to. I don't remember who it was. Someone told me, yeah, why don't you do an NBA player? So I put it as Paul George. I just snorted. Anyways.
Continue.
Anyways,
this guy is so unprofessional. I mean, come on.
So basically,
this podcast about me.
So basically, I put it as Paul George. Next thing I know, people going in the Valorant chat talking about playoff P this, playoff P that. Paul George sucks. Blah blah blah. More disrespect on Paul George. And here's what I gotta say about playoff P. Playoff P is showing up this series. Okay, he's gonna show Luka, and I like Luka. Everybody knows I like Luka. Kyrie.
Are you sure you want playoff P to show up, or you want Paul George to show up?
I want playoff P. I want playoff P.
Is it playoff P because he plays bad in the playoffs?
No. Playoff P is gonna show why he's named playoff P. All right, he's gonna show why he is named playoff P. Why he nicknamed himself playoff P. He's gonna show
podcast P.
No. Watch. He's gonna. Not only is he gonna beat the Mavs, he's gonna go on the podcast after and explain exactly how he broke down Luka and Kyrie. All right. No, he is. But I respect Luka and Kyrie. All right. At the end of the day, I think we just got a better overall team. Like as in like full depth, like our bench, we got a pretty good bench, high key. Like even with us resting most of our people the past, I think like 3 or 4 games, we still were putting up some numbers, right? And at the end of the day, they're talking about starting. I don't know if they're talking about starting Westbrook for real. I think they're just talking about giving him more minutes. But at the end of the day, bro, if you do that, we'll have Westbrook, we'll have Harden, we'll have Paul George, potentially Kawhi. This might be bold.
Okay.
This might be
We
bold.
are not about to say something crazy. We're not about to say we don't even need Kawhi.
I'm not going to say we
false.
don't need Kawhi, but we might not need Kawhi.
How are you going to guard Kyrie and Luka without Kawhi?
Well, they're going to have Westbrook probably on Kyrie, and then they're going to have Paul
You think
George.
that's a good matchup?
Yeah, he's got it.
No,
Dog. He's got it, dog.
no.
He's got it, dog. He's got that dog in him,
I hope that's the matchup.
and I do too, because we're gonna
They
show
not foul out.
we're gonna show the real Westbrook defense. All right, I have a picture of Westbrook clamping up Devin Booker, Kevin Durant,
What does that have to do with anything? One possession.
showing how good his
one
defense.
possession.
No, a full game, clamping them up every time he was on.
It's the playoffs. It's a whole different game.
It don't matter.
It's a
bro.
whole
I'm
different
telling
game.
you, this
We've seen Westbrook in the playoffs. We've seen James Harden in the playoffs. Now, we have seen Kawhi in the playoffs. That's the only one we can really, we know what he's going to bring to the table. Everybody else will have to see. They'll have to prove it.
and they're going to prove it this year. I'm telling you right now, we're at least making it to the conference championship. At least. At least.
You know what that tells me?
What?
You didn't even really got hope for him, man.
I do.
If
I
you
absolutely
really
do.
got them like
No,
that,
what I'm
they
saying-
like that, you should be like, we making the playoffs regardless.
No. What I'm saying is I'm willing to. I don't really bet like that. I don't even do like scratch off tickets. It's just not fascinating to me. But I'm willing to put my own money that we make it to the conference championship. I'm willing. I'm God fearing Will and Dylan, man. I'm telling you, we are going to beat the Mavs. It might take it to. I don't know. It's going to take it to some games. I'm not going to lie to you.
Whoever wins
It
is
might
going to
be
be in
6.
6 games.
Yeah, I was going to say it might be 6, but I just can't see the Mavs beating us. I think we got it in us. I'm pretty sure we beat the Mavs last time in the playoffs. But they didn't have Kyrie. But I'm pretty sure we beat them. Let me look it up.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
guess I'll voice my opinion while he's looking this up. Okay,
Oh, well,
so obviously, Clippers, if you're looking at star talent, like if you're looking at big name players, obviously people know Westbrook, people know Harden, people know Paul George, people know Kawhi Leonard. But Westbrook, we've seen him in the playoffs, all right? We know, okay, let's just back up on him because we don't care if he shoots a 3, you know what I'm saying? So, we've seen him in the playoffs. Not that he can't hit threes, like anybody can get hot. So you kind of got to test him a little bit. But if they don't have Kawhi, I don't see how they're going to guard Luka and Kyrie. I'm thinking of Kawhi and Kyrie at the same time. I don't know how they're going to guard Kyrie and Luka. If they're going to put Westbrook on Kyrie or Luka, I don't like the matchup either way. But Westbrook can definitely be that kickstarter, that energy kind of guy off the bench. Because I don't know if they'll start him. They might, but I don't know him, Harden on the floor at the same time. Like Westbrook has better defense than Harden, but neither one of them's like that dude on defense, I would say. So it's tough to say. If the Clippers get hot, it's what can you do? If Kyrie and Luka get hot, what can you do? That's kind of my thing about it. Tim Hardaway, I like Tim Hardaway since he's been on the Hawks. You know what I'm saying? So put some respect on his name. We'll see how he does in the playoffs. I just had to throw that in there. But if I had to put my prediction on who wins the series and the amount of games, I'm gonna go 6 games. So it's gonna be 4-2, and I'm gonna go. I can't vote for Luka. Like I'm a Trae fan, which I don't hate Luka at all. But like, you know what? He's gonna go.
Awesome.
He's gonna
Come
go.
here and look at this.
He's gonna go Clippers in 6. I'm gonna go Mavs in 6. What are we doing?
But the last time they were in a series, they won. The last time they were in a series, they won.
Luka has 10 different teammates.
He did.
What are we doing? Why are we playing?
They're not going to do anything. We are a defensive team. There's nothing happening on
That
on
Mavs team is not the Mavs team they got right now.
Oh yeah. And we are a defensive team. We got it in us. And Kawhi, I know they want to be secret about, oh, well, he's injured, blah, blah, blah. No, he's not, bro. Kid is resting.
If y'all got Terrence Mann and he's playing, he got a strap. He can play some defense. So if that's y'all's plan, I like it more than Westbrook.
Well, that's normally who we start, but they're talking about putting Westbrook in for the defensive side of the ball. That's what they're talking about.
I feel like Terrence Mann got better defense than most of the team.
But I'm just saying that's what they've been saying. But at the end of the day, I'm not worried about it all. We're getting past this slight breeze.
Okay. Well, first of all, I thought the Pelicans were gonna make it, or we're gonna beat the Lakers. So I was gonna watch the Nuggets Pelicans series. But since that's not going to be possible, we'll let Austin pick the series I'm going to cover. So I like the Suns. I like the idea of the Suns because of, you got Kevin Durant, you got Devin Booker, you got Bradley Beal, and they're playing the Timberwolves, who I don't think they're going to do that good in the playoffs. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. That would be a really good series to watch. 76ers, Knicks, who wants to watch? Okay, let's be real. Who really wants to watch that? Respectfully. Celtics are going to be playing. Who could they be playing? They're going to be playing Pelicans or. Oh yeah, that's a different conference. Oh, I don't really want to watch. I don't want to watch that either. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, we're gonna watch. So he's gonna cover Clippers and Mavs. I'm gonna watch the Suns and Timberwolves. Okay. And if I had to put my prediction on that, I think it's going 7 games. Suns win. Because I don't feel like all the Suns. I feel like it's going to take the Suns they might go down 0-2 and then come back and win. Because I feel like it's going to take them a game or two to really fill out how to guard Anthony Edwards for one, and two, just to get the rhythm of the team down. Because you got three people that are going to want to take shots in the playoffs. Bradley Beal going to want to take shots. Kevin Durant going to want to take shots. Booker going to want to take shots. Yeah, but they got to figure out who's going to be that guy in that series, I feel like. So I feel like they might drop the first 2 games because they don't know who they want taking the shot. But who knows? Timberwolves, okay, they got 3-star. Well, if we're gonna say Rudy's still a defensive player of the year type of person, then I would say they got 3 All-Stars: Rudy, Cat, Edwards. But Edwards is going to be the facilitator no matter what. So you don't really got to worry about who's getting shots because all 3 of those guys are going to get shots. Center's going to get rebounds. So they kind of got an easier way to think about the game. So, but yeah, I'm going to cover that series. You got any comments on that one?
4-2 Suns.
4-2 Suns. I mean, I got the Suns winning no matter what, but I feel like it's going to go 7.
I think it might go 5. To be honest, I think the Suns
4-1 Suns. It's definitely like I said, if they're clicking off rip, I don't.
Yeah.
That's just too much offense.
Yeah.
But and I like Booker. Booker definitely one of my favorite players. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here? The team and who they drafted.
Caitlin Clark got drafted. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. There's one thing I wanted to say. There's one little rant that I wanted to say. There was one little rant.
Okay, go.
All right.
Go for it. Sure.
Here's how I feel about this. And this has to do with NBA, NFL, everything. As far as going to games, I don't know if y'all have been to games. And I understand why stadiums do this, and I understand, the city and everything like that. Okay. Here's my problem. If you go to an Atlanta Hawks game, okay, and you're going to see, let's just say Lakers versus Hawks. Let's just throw that out there. Lakers versus Hawks. All right. The tickets are going to be more expensive for what?
The matchup.
Yeah, because LeBron's there and AD's there, and it's the Lakers.
Yep.
All right. Then why in the blue earth is it that when you go, and I understand your argument or your compellment of, oh, well, it's the city of Atlanta, blah, blah, blah. But why is there no Lakers merch? Why is there no LeBron jerseys? Why is there no AD jerseys? Here's the thing. If you're going to sell the tickets for more expensive prices, if you're going to sell the tickets for $250 to $300 for that, but when Atlanta plays someone like...
How is it the Hawks' fault that there's not opposing teams' merchandise?
Because the Hawks are they also like to do this thing knowing. Okay, listen, knowing. And it ain't just the Hawks. It's also the NFL teams, and it's also the blah, blah, blah teams, the little soccer teams, whatever. I don't care. But knowing they're selling that ticket because at the end of the day, people are coming, and I know there's a lot of Hawks fans, blah, 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 but people are mostly coming to see LeBron. People are mostly coming to see Paul George. People are coming to see these big stars coming in. And, you know, they have their own store with, like, you know, Trae Young and all that other stuff, and that's cool, that's cute. But at the end of the day, the reason you're selling these tickets for so expensive is because people are coming to see that player. So I feel like whenever they're doing these like between the legs, behind the back 360 dunks, and then the commentators just like dunk by Paul George, and then whenever
home commentators, why are they going to be hyping up the opposing
because
team?
the people there, I understand they're home, but the people, you know, 90% of the people in that stadium are there to see that other team. That's why you're selling the tickets for $500 a piece.
If you want to watch them go and you want their home commentators hyping up the Lakers, then go to California.
No, I just feel like it should be.
Maybe you should be a bandwagon fan that starts supporting your home team.
No, at the end of the day, here's how I feel about it. Here's how I feel about it. All right. At the end of the day, there was nothing in Atlanta that interested me at all. Okay, I had no care for Atlanta whatsoever. No, not Horford, not Millsaps, nothing interested me.
Not Millsaps. Kyle Korver. Come on, baby, Kyle Korver.
not anything. Nothing interested
Dennis Schroeder,
me.
yellow hair.
Nothing interested me about Atlanta, all right? So why would I want to go watch Atlanta whenever I was interested in Paul George? And then, guess what? Atlanta gets this little kid
of that team. Buy it online.
Of Trae Young, all right? And then at that time, you know, I don't watch much college ball, but I see clips, and I'm like, oh, this dude Trae is cool. I like Trae. He's over here like bangers. So I'm like, all right, bet. You know, I might watch a few Atlanta games. Now they got Trae Young. Now I'm a little interested in watching an Atlanta game. I'm just saying, all right, it's not necessarily the fact that I don't want to watch Atlanta. It's just the fact that if I'm going to watch Atlanta, I need to see stars. I need to see something that's going to interest me in that team. You see what I'm saying? And y'all got Trae Young, and that's great. That's perfect.
Not anymore.
I'm sorry that I want to be entertained.
Hold on.
Basketball is about being entertained.
Let's get to the bottom of this so we can clear this up. Okay.
Okay.
So Dallas's problem is he goes to a home game of the Hawks and they don't have the opposing team's merchandise.
But they want to sell the
tickets. They
tickets.
shouldn't, for one. Why? I mean, why would they? If they want to set it up, I'm sure that the Hawks would let them set it up. But that ain't got nothing to do with them. Why would they keep other teams' stuff there? One. Two, he's saying he doesn't like that the home team's commentators aren't hyping up the other team. Why would they hype up the other team?
Okay, here's my point.
It doesn't matter if they're coming to see those players or not. You're living in Georgia. Go, if you want hype, then go to that state. I don't.
Here's my problem. Because they are literally. I feel like if that's the situation, you're just gonna sell the Hawks stuff, and you're just gonna comment on the Hawks. Okay, why wouldn't you? Yeah, why wouldn't you? At that point, keep all the ticket prices the same. Keep all the ticket prices the same. At that point, that's how I feel about it. There shouldn't be no charge increase because LeBron's coming. Because at the end of the day, in your mindset, you're saying you're coming for the Hawks. You're coming for the home team. And that mindset, nobody's coming for LeBron. Nobody's coming for AD. So there's no reason to up the prices at all. Every price should be the exact same except for where you're sitting on the seats. That's how I feel about it. I just feel like it's kind of ridiculous that Caitlin Clark tickets are $250 freaking dollars for the cheapest ticket, and she's a rookie. And I say Caitlin Clark because I promise you last year, Indiana Fever tickets weren't $250 to go to the Atlanta Dream. I promise you they weren't. I mean, I could be wrong. Y'all could get me in the comments, and y'all could say, oh, well, look at this, though. I paid $250. Cool, congrats. You paid $250 just to sleep, all right? And Caitlin Clark is here now, all right? And I know, if I was to pay $250 for a freaking ticket, I'm not going to get a Caitlin Clark.
Right now. Get to the point.
That's the point.
You be going on tangents, my boy.
No, it's not a tangent. That's the point.
So you're saying, okay, one, that player is drawing attention, which is going to make the tickets go up. Which do I think they should go up a little bit? Sure, but you know they do go overkill with how much they cost. There needs to be, if they want to grow the organization, the association, they need to make tickets more affordable in general. But I mean, the whole argument of the team, that home team should be hyping up the other team, that shouldn't be a thing. If they want to let other teams sell merchandise, okay, let them. If they don't, that's fine. That's not their job to let them do that, and that should be the end of the story, really.
It ain't the fact of hyping them up. That ain't my problem. It's the fact of if I see somebody do a 360 windmill.
You can see that it was Paul George. Why do you need the commentator to be like,
Oh, Paul George,
the
360. Why is the commentator there at all? If I don't want to hear it.
he's commentating the game.
Exactly. He's commentating the game. If I see 360 dunk from freaking Paul George and he's doing.
Not every
And then the
commentators are
commentator's
going to
like,
be good.
Oh, good dunk, Paul George. And then next thing you know, you see Trae Young come down and just throw up a
You
little.
see how like
throw
you
up
don't
a
give
little
100%
layup.
energy at some points in these podcasts? They're not going to give 100% energy 24/7 in the game. They got a whole game to get through, bro.
They never talk about the opposing team. They're always like the opposing team would come out and they'll be like,
I don't know if it's
Shooting
I don't-
guard,
if it's
Paul
Dominique
George.
and what's his name there? They're good commentators.
and then the
He was talking crap about the Hawks the whole game. Bro. I didn't care. Like it was like, what are we doing?
well, I just wanted to bring up that maybe we should stop the madness a little bit and maybe go down on the ticket prices if we're not going to sell our the opposing team's merch that half the stadium is there for.
All right, guys, we'll catch you in the next episode of the podcast. He's going to keep going about this.
I'm not. I'm done. I'm just
we'll
saying.
catch you in the next episode.
I'm just saying.
Deuces.